Hey everyone, today we're going to tackle a topic that, let's be real, is on a lot of parents' minds: childhood stress. We're going to talk about how you can spot it, and more importantly, we're going to open up a toolkit of real practical strategies to help your kids feel safe, capable, and supported. So let's just jump right in. Think about it for a second. When was the last time your child actually came up to you and said, Mom, Dad, I'm feeling really stressed out right now? Right? It probably doesn't happen. And that's the whole key. For most kids, these big, heavy feelings like stress are really hard to put into words. They just don't have that vocabulary yet. So instead of telling us how they feel, their stress shows us. It speaks a completely different language. Yeah, stress shows up in the body and in their actions. It might look like physical things, those sudden tummy aches or headaches that come out of nowhere. Or it could be behavioral, like they're suddenly super irritable, really clingy, or fighting you and going to school. When you look at this list, you start to see these aren't just random problems, they're signals.
So the very first thing we have to do is learn to read those signals. This means we have to reframe what we're seeing. It's not about bad behavior that needs to be punished, it's about seeing these as valuable clues that point to something deeper going on.
This question right here, it's a total game changer. Instead of asking, how do I get my kid to stop biting their nails? We start asking, okay, wait, what's overloading their nervous system? See how that shifts things? It moves us from just trying to fix a symptom to actually understanding the root cause. And look, let's be clear. Not all stress is the enemy. A little bit of stress actually helps kids grow and learn new things. The kind we're worried about is chronic stress. The kind that's really intense, sticks around for a while, and happens when a kid doesn't feel supported. That's the stuff that can really snowball into bigger issues later on. So, what is going on? Why does it feel like so many more kids are completely overloaded these days? Well, let's take a look at the world they're growing up in. The numbers are just... wow. They're staggering. Globally, 1 in 7 adolescents is living with a diagnosed mental health condition. Let that sink in. 1 in 7. This isn't some rare thing. It's a huge challenge of modern childhood. So what's driving this? Well, it's a mix of things that'll probably sound familiar. There's so much academic pressure, the stress of social media, and always comparing themselves. And then there's our stress as adults, which definitely spills over. Add in not enough sleep, way too much screen time, and not enough good old-fashioned unstructured play outside, and you've basically got the perfect recipe for an overloaded nervous system. Okay, so that's the what and the why. But here's the most important part. You are not powerless, not even close. So now we're going to get into the how. A parent's toolkit filled with simple, proven strategies you can literally start using today. First up is belly breathing. Think of this as a physiological reset button. It's so simple. The real magic is making the exhale longer than the inhale. When you do that, you're activating a nerve that tells the brain, hey, it's okay, you're safe, you can calm down now. You can try it with them. Breathe in through the nose for 4, and then a really long, slow breath out for 6. Now this quote, this is so important. You can't teach these calming skills in the middle of a meltdown. It just won't work. The time to practice something like belly breathing is when they're already calm, maybe after school or right before bed. That way, the skill is already wired in when the storm actually hits. Okay, tool number 2 comes straight from cognitive behavioral therapy. It's all about helping your child sort their thoughts into 2 buckets: problems versus worries. A problem is something real you can make a plan for, like, I forgot my homework. A worry is one of those what-if stories that just spins in your head like, what if no one plays with me at recess? For a problem, you make a plan. For a worry, you teach them to notice it and then park it. And building on that idea, you can create coping statements. These are short, powerful sentences you come up with together. So when a worry shows up, they have something to say back to it. Like, I can do hard things, or this feeling will pass. Your job is to practice this with them, over and over, until it becomes their own strong inner voice. Next up is something called behavioral activation. That sounds fancy, but the idea is incredibly simple. Action changes emotion. When kids feel stressed or anxious, their world can get really small. The antidote is to gently schedule in small, positive activities every single day. Getting outside, riding a bike, just hanging out with a friend, it all works. And that leads us to this core principle. Predictability is calming for an anxious brain. You see, chaos and not knowing what's next is like fuel for stress. Having a simple, consistent after-school schedule isn't about being a drill sergeant. It's about creating a rhythm that lets your child's nervous system finally take a breath because it knows what's coming.
Of course, we have to talk about screens. And it's not just about the hours logged, it's about the when and the what. Two really big ones for a calmer brain are no screens during meals, and all screens get turned off at least an hour, maybe even 90 minutes before bed. That late night scrolling is basically anxiety fuel, and it messes with sleep in a big way.
Okay, these tools are amazing for handling the everyday ups and downs, but it is absolutely crucial to know when that stress has tipped over into something bigger and when it's time to bring in some professional help.
If you see these kinds of signs, and they stick around for 4 to 6 weeks, things like completely refusing to go to school, having panic attacks, losing all interest in things they used to love, or major changes in sleeping or eating, please don't just wait and hope it goes away. These are clear signals that it's time to reach out to your pediatrician or find a child therapist.
So as we start to bring this all together, all of these tools are fantastic, but they all depend on one final idea, and it might just be the most powerful one of all.
This right here is the bottom line. This isn't about being a perfect parent. Nobody is. It's about being a consistent one. It's those small, daily habits, the quiet belly breath before sleep, the predictable afternoon snack, the screen-free dinner table that slowly build a powerful foundation of safety and resilience for your child. And that leads us to our final thought for you to take away. Looking at everything we talked about, please don't feel overwhelmed. Just ask yourself this one simple question. What is one small, consistent habit I can start today? That's it. That's where the change begins.